Emily Harper, 20 years old, in a small clinic at Oregon State University Hospital. Her hands tremble, her voice barely a whisper. "Are you sure?" she asks, eyes locked on the test results. At 20, Emily's life was supposed to be about late-night study sessions, coffee runs, and dreaming big. Not this. Not an HIV diagnosis that would rewrite her future. Dr. Rachel Kim, her physician, leans forward, her voice steady but kind. "Emily, we ran the test twice. It's conclusive. But listen, this isn't the end. Treatments today are incredible. You can live a long, full life." But Emily's not hearing it. Her mind is already spiraling, rewinding to a night 3 months ago. A frat party at Kappa Delta Rho. A charming senior named Ethan Brooks, all smiles and smooth talk, who kept her glass full and her heart racing. A guy who knew he was HIV positive and never said a word. That night at the Kappa Delta Rho frat party, she felt on top of the world. The music was loud, the room packed with people dancing and laughing. Lights flashed, making everything feel like a movie. Emily wore her favorite dress, sipping a drink, when Ethan Brooks caught her eye. He was a senior, handsome, with a smile that made her heart skip. He walked over, handed her a cup, and started talking like they'd known each other forever. They joked about classes, shared stories about their hometowns, and danced until her feet hurt. Ethan seemed perfect, kind, funny, the kind of guy you'd tell your friends about. Emily didn't notice his frat brothers watching, smirking as they whispered to each other. They knew something she didn't. Ethan was HIV positive and hadn't told her. To them, it was a sick game, betting on who he'd hook up with next. Emily was just another target, a girl who trusted too easily. That night, she felt special, alive, unaware that Ethan's charm was a lie. 2 weeks ago, everything changed. Sitting in a campus coffee shop, Emily overheard some of Ethan's frat brothers laughing. "Ethan still got it," one said. She had no idea. The words hit her like a slap. They were talking about her. Ethan had known he could infect her and didn't care. His friends knew too, and they thought it was funny. The betrayal burned deep, turning her memories of that night sour. She could still picture Ethan's smile, the way he'd leaned close, the promises in his eyes. Now she knew it was all fake. The party, once a happy memory, became the moment her life broke apart. Emily couldn't stop thinking about it, how she'd trusted him, how they'd laughed at her. The anger grew, a knot in her chest that wouldn't loosen. She didn't know then that this rage would push her to do something unthinkable, something that would hurt dozens of people and change Oregon forever. All she knew was that Ethan and his friends had played with her life, and she wasn't going to let them get away with it. Emily didn't realize it then, but her need for revenge would turn her into someone she didn't recognize and make her story one of Oregon's darkest. After learning Ethan knowingly gave her HIV, she couldn't go back to her old life. Classes, friends, her dreams, they all felt like they belonged to someone else. Instead, she drove to a cheap motel in Bend, far from her dorm, and sat on a creaky bed with her laptop. Her hands shook as she created a fake name, Lila Monroe, and set up new social media accounts. She picked photos that were flirty but not too much, just enough to get attention. She joined dating apps, swiping right on every guy who messaged her, answering with smiles and lies. Staring in the motel mirror, she told herself, "They thought it was a joke. I'll show them." Emily quit college, using her savings to keep going. She moved from city to city, Portland, Eugene, Salem, Medford, never staying long. She changed her hair, her clothes, even her laugh, becoming Lila, a girl who could charm anyone. She met all kinds of men, a lawyer who lied about being single, a college kid who seemed sweet, a salesman with a wedding ring in his pocket. Each one was a target, a way to make someone else feel the hurt Ethan gave her. She kept a list on her laptop, saving their names, photos, and messages in a folder called Payback. Emily knew not every guy would get HIV, but she didn't care. It was about numbers, about making sure enough did. At night, she read about the virus, learning how it spread, how long it took to show up. The more she learned, the angrier she got, thinking of Ethan's frat brothers laughing. But it wasn't easy. She barely slept, her body felt heavy, and her money was running out. The girl who used to love books and late-night talks was gone. Lila was all that was left, a shadow driven by anger. Emily didn't see it then, but her plan was bigger than Ethan. It would hurt dozens of people, spark news stories, and change laws. All because one betrayal broke her heart and pushed her to fight back in the worst way possible. Emily's laptop was her only friend, where she wrote down everything, her anger, her tiredness, her plan. It was like talking to someone who wouldn't judge her. Day 132. Got 2 more tonight. A lawyer and a bartender. Both were married but hid it. They deserve what's coming. She typed this in a Salem motel, the TV buzzing in the background. Her head hurt, and she felt weak, signs the HIV was starting to hit, like Dr. Kim had warned. But she kept going, thinking of Ethan's face. Day 159. I'm so tired. The symptoms are bad, sweating at night, losing weight. Doesn't matter. I won't stop until I hit 50. This was in Eugene, after a night of pretending to laugh at a guy's jokes. Her hands shook as she wrote, her face in the laptop screen looking like someone else, thin, eyes dark, not the Emily who loved college. Day 178. Someone knew me in Eugene. Had to leave fast. I'm messing up, gotta be careful. She wrote this in Medford, her heart racing after a guy gave her a weird look. Emily's notes weren't just a diary, they were her way of keeping track. She listed every man, names, where they met, what they said. A salesman who talked about his kids, but met her anyway. A student who said he loved her after one night. A coach who promised things he couldn't keep. To her, they were all like Ethan, all part of her payback. She had rules. Never use protection, always make sure there was blood somehow. Never give her real name, never stay more than one night. It kept her focused, but it didn't stop the bad dreams. Ethan's laugh, the doctor's voice saying positive, her parents' disappointed faces. Emily knew she was leaving clues, stuff that could get her caught, but she didn't care. Stopping felt like letting Ethan win. Her notes showed a girl who was hurt, who thought hurting others would fix her. She didn't see how big it would get, how her anger would hurt so many people and make her story something everyone in Oregon would talk about. All she saw was the next name on her list, the next step in a plan that was eating her alive. By fall, people in Oregon were starting to talk, and Emily's secret was slipping out. Guys in Portland bars sat close, whispering about a woman they'd met, pretty fun, but gone by morning. She seemed perfect, one said, staring at his drink. Then I got tested. It's bad. Another guy nodded, scared. Same thing happened to me. In Eugene, college kids were nervous, checking dating apps but not swiping, hearing about a brunette who disappeared. Clinics in Salem and Medford were busier, guys waiting for test results, some young, some older, all worried they'd caught something. They all described the same thing. A great night, a girl who seemed into them, then nothing, no calls, no texts, just a bad feeling. Emily, now calling herself Lila Monroe, was like a shadow. She'd go to a city, meet a guy, and leave before anyone could figure her out. She dyed her hair blonde in Portland, red in Eugene, back to brown in Salem, always changing to stay hidden. Her smile was fake now, something she used to get what she wanted. She met all sorts of guys, a loud lawyer, a shy teacher, a firefighter who wasn't single. Each one was part of her plan to make people hurt like Ethan hurt her. She knew HIV didn't always spread, but she kept going, hoping enough guys would get it. The rumors were getting louder, though. In Medford, a guy posted online, warning about a woman who sounded like her. In Portland, a bartender thought he'd seen her before and told his boss. Emily felt it, people were catching on. Her notes showed she was scared, writing about mistakes like when a guy in Eugene stared too long. She was getting sloppy, but she couldn't quit. Her list wasn't done yet. She didn't know the rumors were building something bigger, that doctors were noticing too many HIV cases, all from guys who'd met someone like her. Emily thought she was in control, but the truth was closing in. Then she met Ryan Sullivan in a Salem bar. He was different, kind, real, and for a second, she almost forgot her plan. But she didn't, and that choice would be the one that finally stopped her. Ryan Sullivan wasn't just a nice guy Emily met in a Salem bar. He was a journalist who wrote stories about things people didn't see. That night, she almost told him everything, but she stuck to her plan, leaving him with a fake number. 2 weeks later, she was in a Medford diner when she saw his article online. Oregon health officials worry about HIV spike. It said 41 guys, young and old, got HIV from one woman, someone who sounded just like her, 20s, charming, always gone fast. Emily's stomach dropped. Her secret was falling apart. In Portland, Detective Laura Nguyen was working hard to find her. Laura's desk was a mess, papers, coffee cups, maps with pins in every city Emily hit. Nathan Carter, a 35-year-old salesman and Emily's first target, came to the police after reading Ryan's article. I tested positive, he said, his voice shaky. I know it's her. He told Laura about their night in a motel, how she scratched his back, how his business cards were gone. Laura wrote it all down, her phone ringing with more guys saying the same thing. The police went into overdrive. They watched security videos from bars and motels, checked bank cards, looked at dating apps. They saw patterns. A woman who used different names, paid with cash, left no trace. One video showed Emily in a Eugene motel, her face half hidden, but clear enough. Laura figured out her fake names, Lila Monroe, Sarah Tate, Mia Reed, and kept digging. The team worked late, knowing every guy who came forward meant a family hurt, a life changed. Emily didn't know how close they were. She'd stopped taking her HIV medicine, and she was getting sicker, tired all the time, losing weight, sweating at night. But she kept going, wanting to reach 50 guys on her list. Ryan's article scared her, but it didn't stop her. She thought she could keep running, keep hiding. Laura, though, was getting nearer, her team finding more clues every day. Emily's plan was like a house of cards, and one wrong move would make it all fall down. That move was coming, and it would start with a text from Ryan, the guy who'd seen through her lies and wanted to know why she was doing this. Emily sat in a small Eugene coffee shop, her hands tight around a cold latte, waiting for Ryan Sullivan. His text had come out of nowhere. "I know what you're doing. We need to talk," and she almost didn't show up. But she was tired, her body aching from HIV she wasn't treating, and something about Ryan made her want to explain. He walked in, not the smiling guy from the Salem bar, but someone serious, like he carried a heavy truth. "How many?" he asked, sitting across from her, his voice quiet but firm. Emily looked at her coffee, scared to meet his eyes. 52, she said softly, the number feeling like a weight. Ryan took a sharp breath, shocked. "Why?" he asked, leaning closer. Emily hadn't told anyone, but now the words came out fast. She talked about Ethan Brooks, the frat guy who seemed perfect, who knew he had HIV and didn't tell her. She described the party at Kappa Delta Rho, how they danced, how she trusted him. Then the coffee shop moment, hearing his friends laugh about her, saying Ethan got her. The worst was the hospital, Dr. Kim saying she was HIV positive, her whole future gone. Emily's voice shook as she told Ryan how Ethan's frat brothers knew and thought it was funny, how she decided to make others feel her pain. "I wanted them to hurt like me," she said, tears in her eyes. Ryan listened, not writing anything, just watching her. "I can help you tell people what happened," he said when she stopped. "But you have to turn yourself in." Emily looked outside, rain falling, people walking like nothing was wrong. She thought of her mom and dad, the college she left, the girl she used to be. Her plan had taken everything, and she was so tired. "Okay," she whispered. "But I want things done my way." Ryan nodded, knowing this was big. Emily didn't know it yet, but saying yes to Ryan would change everything. Her story would hit the news, make people angry, and force Oregon to look at itself. That coffee shop moment was the end of Lila Monroe, and the start of Emily facing what she'd done. A step toward a truth she couldn't run from anymore. Emily Harper turned herself in at a Eugene police station, giving Detective Laura Nguyen everything. Her laptop, her notes, her lists of 52 men, and proof Ethan Brooks knew he gave her HIV. The news blew up. College girl's HIV revenge caught. 52 men hit in 6 months. Frat secret started it all. Her trial in Eugene was huge, with TV cameras outside and people packed in the courtroom. Emily, now 21, looked different, thin, pale, her hair flat, not the lively girl from her dating app pictures. Her parents sat behind her, sad and broke from paying lawyers, wondering how their smart daughter ended up here. The prosecutors called Emily a monster. She planned it all, they said, showing her notes, videos, and messages, proving she meant to hurt people. Her lawyers said she was broken, driven crazy by Ethan's lie and her HIV diagnosis. But the proof was too much. Guys she'd met told their stories. Nathan Carter, a salesman, said his wife left him, his kids wouldn't talk to him. Caleb Evans, a student, said he'd never finish school now. Daniel Ortiz, a coach, talked about taking pills forever. Their words hurt Emily, making her see the pain she caused. Then Ethan testified, part of a deal to get less jail time. "I knew I had HIV, he said. My frat thought it was a joke. We bet on who she'd pick." People in the courtroom gasped, seeing why Emily was so mad, but it didn't change what she did. After weeks of talking, the jury took 5 hours to say guilty on every charge. At sentencing, Emily stood, her voice shaky. "I was so hurt, so angry. I wanted everyone to feel it. But I turned into something worse than Ethan. I'm sorry. I know it's not enough." The judge didn't care. "You hurt people on purpose," he said, giving her 27 years, maybe forever. Ethan got 12 years for starting it. The trial showed everyone how one bad choice, Ethan's lie, could wreck so many lives. It made Oregon think hard about what happens when people get hurt and don't get help. Emily's story wasn't just hers anymore. It was a warning, a reason to change how things worked, and a sad reminder of what anger can do. Emily's case changed Oregon forever. Her revenge, sparked by Ethan's betrayal, didn't just hurt 52 men, it touched everyone. The state made new rules, tougher punishments for giving someone HIV on purpose, schools had to report problems, and frats got stricter rules so secrets like Ethan's couldn't hide. The Kappa Delta row house, where it all started, became a place to teach about safe sex and testing. Guys Emily hurt sued for money, trying to fix their broken lives. Some lost their families, their jobs, their hope. 3 guys couldn't take it and ended their lives, leaving their friends and families crying at memorials. 2 lawyers quit because the case was too hard, too sad. A TV show, The Revenge Epidemic, told the story, and millions watched, talking about what it meant. Emily started her life in Oregon Women's Correctional Facility, a cold place with gray walls. She took her HIV pills again, feeling a little better, but always remembering what she did. She went to therapy, talking about her anger, trying to understand why she went so far. She wrote letters to the guys she hurt, saying sorry, but most sent them back, too mad to read them. Her parents came to see her, their faces tired, their house sold to pay for her trial. Ryan Sullivan, the reporter who got her to turn herself in, visited too, writing a book about it. "I thought hurting people would make me feel better," Emily told him, her voice quiet. "It just made me emptier. I'll try to make it right, even if I never can." Oregon felt the changes everywhere. Schools taught kids about saying yes and getting tested. Clinics gave free HIV tests, trying to make it less scary to check. People held meetings to remember those who suffered. Emily's story showed how one person's pain could spread, making everyone afraid to trust. But it also showed strength, guys who kept going, people who fought for better laws, communities that wanted to help. Emily's life was locked up, but her story kept moving, pushing Oregon to be kinder, to listen to people who were hurting before they did something awful. It wasn't just a sad story, it was a chance to do better, to stop the next Emily before she started. In a small church basement in Portland, a group called The Resilient met every month. They were guys Emily hurt, coming together to talk, heal, and keep going. The room was plain, with old posters on the walls and a coffee pot making noise. Lucas Bennett, a 30-year-old firefighter, shared first. "My girlfriend stayed, but people treat me like I'm dangerous. They think they'll get HIV from touching me." Daniel Ortiz, a coach who now talked at schools, nodded. "I tell kids about saying yes and getting tested. It's how I fight back." The group had 12 guys, all different but connected by what Emily did. They helped each other, sharing doctor advice, job ideas, even tips for dating with HIV. Caleb Evans, a 23-year-old who wanted to be a teacher, started helping other guys deal with their diagnosis, finding a new purpose. But it wasn't easy for everyone. Nathan Carter, a salesman, was sad a lot, his wife gone, his kids not calling. He came to meetings but didn't talk much. The guys told stories, some good, like Lucas meeting someone new, some hard, like Nathan's loneliness. They wore red ribbons to show they weren't ashamed, spoke at events, and handed out flyers to teach people HIV isn't a death sentence. At Oregon State, things changed because of Emily. The school made everyone take classes about saying yes, gave free tests, and watched frats closely. The guys in The Resilient became heroes in a way, showing up on posters, talking to students, proving you could live well with HIV. But they carried heavy stuff too. Some, like Daniel, found a way to keep going. Others, like Nathan, felt stuck. Their meetings were full of laughs and tears, a place to be honest. They called themselves survivors, not victims, but Emily's choices were always there, like a shadow. They showed Oregon that life goes on, even after something awful. Their group was small, but it was strong, a light for others who felt alone. They were proof that you could take something bad and make it mean something good, even if it hurt. Emily's story wasn't just about her. It was about these guys fighting to be more than what she did to them. 15 years after her arrest, Emily Harper turned 35 in a tiny cell at Oregon Women's Correctional Facility. Her hair had gray streaks, her face showed years of living with HIV, but she wasn't the angry girl anymore. She got a social work degree in prison, helped other women in jail, and ran a group for those with HIV, teaching them to deal with their feelings. Her book, Vengeance's Cost, told her story, and the money went to help the guys she hurt. Only Ryan Sullivan, the reporter, visited her to talk. "Why didn't you stop with me?" he asked once. Emily looked at her hands, rough from years inside. Revenge was all I had, she said. I didn't know who I was without it. Her story became something schools studied, lawyers, doctors, police learning from what she did. Emily's law made it harder to get away with giving someone HIV, helped victims more, and changed how police handled cases like hers. The numbers were big. 52 guys she infected, 19 more from them to others, 14 broken marriages, 3 deaths, millions paid out. But the real cost was deeper. Oregon State started Truth Week, teaching about safe sex and saying yes, with free tests for everyone. Clinics made it easier to get checked, trying to make HIV less scary. Some guys, like Nathan Carter, started a dating group for people with HIV. Caleb Evans helped athletes who lost their dreams. But not everyone made it. Daniel Ortiz died because he stopped his medicine. Ethan Brooks got out after 8 years, changed his name, and disappeared. Emily's mom and dad died while she was locked up, and she watched their funerals on a screen, alone. Ryan's book, The Ripple Effect, won prizes, showing how one person's hurt can spread. In 2039, Emily went to a parole hearing and said, "I can't fix what I did, but I'm different now. If I get out, I'll help people not make my mistakes. If I stay, I'll do it here." Her story didn't end. It kept teaching Oregon to listen, to help people who are hurting. It showed that one bad choice could change everything, but so could one good one, like choosing to heal instead of hate. Emily Harper's story isn't just a crime saga. It's a warning about what happens when pain festers, when betrayal turns to rage, when revenge becomes a purpose. It's a reminder that every choice ripples, touching lives we'll never see. There are no winners here, only survivors picking up the pieces of a young woman's broken heart and her devastating revenge. This case, one of Oregon's most infamous, changed laws, lives, and perspectives. It's a call to listen, to help, to heal, before pain becomes a weapon. If you're hurting, reach out. Don't let your story become another cautionary tale.